I worked for a YouTuber named Marco, who he's very familiar with. Marco's probably the most famous artist on YouTube right now. There's a few things I learned when working with him. One was that before working with him, I had thought of him as a YouTuber who did art. I thought this guy's a really good YouTuber who picked the niche of art and he's used it to thrive. When I worked with him, what I realized is, no. This guy is a world-class artist and he's a world-class YouTuber. And that's why he's so successful. I remember, because he makes custom shoes, the first time I ever went into his warehouse, he started hiding shoes from me. And I was like, this guy with 10 million subscribers, why is he hiding shoes from me? And it was because he cared so much about his art that if he didn't feel a piece was worthy, he didn't want it there to represent him. And I really respected that. But I think that another thing I learned when working with him, which I think you could really utilize if you're trying to grow a social media profile, is he has such a hack in the sense of three things. One is satisfaction. So in the book Atomic Habits, which is really popular, they say the most easy way to repeat a habit is to make it satisfying. And with art and the way you make art, you can make really satisfying watching videos where you want to watch them over and over again. Right. The second thing, though, is that it goes back to giving versus getting. When you're trying to get a collab as a smaller YouTuber, as a smaller podcast, smaller musician, you can't really give anyone, you can't give the person above you that much. I mean, you can give them a good time. You can hope that you can make some good art together. But with Marco, he was able to get huge collabs because he's giving these people world-class art, whereas like they wouldn't be able to get it anywhere else. Right. He's adding so much value. And then the third thing is that on YouTube, we see stealing and copying everywhere. But if you're a good physical artist, people can't just copy that because you have to be a good physical artist. True. I don't know if there's a question here, but I just wanted to list those things out because
I mean, it's definitely, I got to collab with Marco on a piece and a nice video. Yeah. We worked together for about a week and a half together, just every single day, kind of like going over. Yeah. He came down to my studio. I went up to his, got to see his house, and on top of just his talent, he's a hard worker, dude. He's the hardest worker. I was thinking you were gonna say he's also a scientist because he's not only like making art or whatever, he's experimenting on different things. He just did a video where he's like, I'm gonna make these shoes to make me walk up a wall, and he does it. He accomplishes it, and that video is done within a week, and so it's kind of seeing that and how creative he can be. And that's why he's been so wildly successful, just through his creativity, through his generosity. And like you said, giving one-of-one art pieces that no one else can create to people. And because people, the bigger people, the celebrities, they have the money, they have friends, they have the clout. They don't need any of that. But they don't have a one-of-one piece by Marco, so...
Dude, I just got a rant about him for a second here because I always hear YouTubers talk about like, oh, I work these long hours, but looking at Marco, all he does, wake up, work every single day. Actually, from the perspective of soul wealth, I'd probably say it's too much work. Yeah, but, honestly. He works so hard. There was something else I wanted to say. This guy is literally a YouTube genius. He knows everything. I remember one time something that really blew my mind is we were talking about creating shorts. So posting a YouTube short, posting an Instagram reel, and posting a TikTok. And I was like, all right, we'll make a TikTok. We'll post it on all the platforms. And he was like, okay, for TikTok, make it 20 seconds. For Instagram, make it 50 seconds. And he knew it off the top of his head. He knew what time frame for each platform would perform the best. And I was like, bro, he just dropped it casually. I didn't even ask him. I was like, dude, it's crazy. This guy's insane. But then there is one thing that I think is interesting. So you've sold commission art. Your art piece is for sale behind us in this warehouse. he had told me that he had not sold commission art, even though he wanted to, and I believe he had tried. And I had told you as well that when I first heard of him, but I hadn't known him, I thought of him as a YouTuber rather than an artist.
Right.
And I wonder, because I really believe that in 10 to 20 years, people are going to look at Marco, maybe not the same as Banksy, but I think that he will hold, every era has their artist. And I think in our social media era, he's going to be one of those people that they will look back
He's a legend.
He's a legend.
He's 21.
Dude.
And he's got 5 million subscribers. He's got over 100 videos. He's met Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's met, all these celebrities. Exactly.
But that's what, so I think that there's going to be a catch-up phase of people where right now, anyone on YouTube, they are a YouTuber who does this. And I think it's going to change where so much of the population is going to be on YouTube that you are going to be, you're going to be an artist who utilizes YouTube. You're going to be a podcaster who utilizes YouTuber. But I think it's interesting why he may have struggled to sell commission artwork. And like, I'm thinking about you possibly making artwork for bigger people or going down that route.
Right.
How that would play out for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've definitely watched his stuff, seen how he's grown, spoken with him personally, and kind of picked his brain on certain things, how to grow, how to, how to grow, but in your own way. Obviously we have very different styles, and my work is much more commissionable. If that's even a word. It's much more customizable, because people will see it, they understand the style immediately, and will be like, oh, well, I could see this working as a logo for this or whatever. He definitely has a different realm because he doesn't have one style. He kind of got bigger off the shoes, right? Yeah. But there are a lot of custom shoe artists. So his differentiating factor was through YouTube, through his personality, and through these videos. And so that's why he could very easily now sell anything because he has such a good following. I think that's a much easier route than trying to force a product like I'm doing essentially, and trying to just sell it on to people.
I will say though, on top of his art being incredible, the way he edits is very artistic. That I think with the shoes, when he first started, he probably wasn't that much better than other shoe artists. But dude, I would just be so satisfied watching his videos. I can't even explain it other than just go watch a Marco video and see the edit.
I mean,